with the forthcoming elections into the office of the Senate President when the Parliament is inaugurated next Tuesday. And my guests on the show today is Comrade Seyi Olubanjo. He is a public affairs analyst. Comrade, thank you for your appearance on Insight.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on your debut.
Thank you.
Oh, well, yes, you can join our live stream on YouTube. Just type in Citizen FM 93.7 and you will be part of the show from anywhere you are in the world. And you can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng. Our social media platforms are also there for your interaction. On Facebook, you can interact with us on @CitizenFM Abuja. On Instagram, @CitizenFM937. And also on Twitter, @CitizenFM937. So that's how it's going to be with our comrade in the next 30 minutes or thereabout. We will talk about the goings on and the political game ahead of the election of the Senate President on Tuesday. But before then, a shout out to our Executive Vice Chairman and Editor-in-Chief of Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja, Alhaji Jimo Najim, who has been bestowed with an award of excellence by the Arewa Youth Advocacy for Good Governance. The award was conferred on him during a courtesy visit by the leadership of the youth group on Tuesday, June the 6th, here in our studios. The group said the award was in recognition of Alhaji Najim's immense contribution towards educational upliftment, societal development, excellence, discipline, nation building, and service to humanity. In his response, Alhaji Najim appreciated the group for the recognition, saying he felt encouraged and inspired to keep doing his best for the society. The Arewa Advocacy for Good Governance is a non-governmental and non-political organization that has members across the 19 northern states and the FCT. So once again, congratulations, our boss, Alhaji Najim. So back to the program. To be or not to be, on Tuesday, the National Assembly will be inaugurated and presiding officers will emerge from both chambers. But from the Senate, which is our focus today, our guest once again is Comrade Seyi Olubanjo, a public affairs analyst. Comrade, straight onto the issue. First, looking at the whole scenario, what are your expectations from the election of these presiding officers? Let's start from there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawrence. My expectation is very positive. I still very much believe that the three of them, the frontline contestants, are not going to the inauguration as a divided house. I believe that the party and the president are still working on them. They are trying as much as possible to persuade the major two contestants that are contesting against Senator Akpabio. I mean, Senator Yari and Senator Ojus Okalu. They are well-respected members of the party. They are chieftains of the party, and they also have at their own rights. They have their own capacity, but the party leadership is still trying to, as much as possible, to let them see the reason why they need to step down their ambition for Senator Akpabio to fly. The party has done its own background check before gunning for Akpabio. They know the capacity. Akpabio performed extremely well when he was governor of Akwa Ibom State, and that was why he was tagged the common governor. As Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, for the first time in history, NDDC was being audited. He drove that initiative to ensure that there is sanity in that multi-billion, agency of government. And because of that, I so much believe, I'm very much optimistic that they are not going to the field as a divided house. If anybody is going to contest at all against Akpabio, to be a senator from another party, not from APC, and that person too is not likely to fly, because APC is the ruling party. It still controls majority of the number of senators in the Senate. Among the Senate senators elect. So I will just continue to. I will appeal to all the stakeholders of the party, the leadership of the party, and also the president to continue to work on Senator Yari and also Senator Ojus Okalu. So, but in case they refuse to step down their ambition, then the party should just ensure that that they give Senator Akpabio all the necessary support, and they should not limit their consultation to APC senators elect alone. They should reach out to senators in other parties like the PDP, like the Labour Party, and also the NNPP. They should reach out to them to ensure that Senator Akpabio wins that election. Because I see Senator Akpabio as someone who has the capacity to consolidate on the achievements of the ninth Senate. The Lawan, Senator Lawan led Senate. So, because he's a person who shares the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You remember, he was the very first person, the very first presidential aspirant to step down for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the party primaries. So, and apart from that, since then, he has been working with him. He attended virtually all the campaigns, the presidential campaigns. He played very vital role. Apart from that, he was able to score, to ensure that in the South, the number of votes that the APC was able to garner was more than 800, almost 800,000. Whereas Dr. Ojus Okalu, despite the fact that he was able to garner about 49,000 votes as a senator in his senatorial district, in the entire Southeast, the APC could not get up to 200,000 votes. So that shows us, the level of commitment of each one of them and the level of loyalty to the party. Even though some other factors could be considered, the fact the presidential candidate came from Southeast, the presidential candidate of Labour Party came from Southeast. So those factors are there, but the party believes that performance was too low. It's not impressive at all. It wasn't impressive at all for someone who wants to become a Senate president, because I know they are not just nursing that ambition now. They must have been nursing that ambition right from immediately they step down their presidential aspiration. So for him not to be able to have 200,000 votes in the entire Southeast, including Abia State that he came from, that shows he's not really prepared for that number 3 seats is vying for now. That is one. Then Senator Yari, I don't see him as someone who has that competence or that capacity. His state is still one of the most poorest states, one of the poorest states in Nigeria. At a time, because of mismanagement of resources, because of how their relationship with WAEC was messed up, that up to today, that organization, that examination body, ensure that WAEC is not being written by secondary school students in that state up to today, because of the kind of indebtedness of the state government to WAEC. That is to tell us that is someone that is not reliable, because it started during his administration as governor of Zamfara State. So you can't compare his record with that kind of with that of Senator Akpabio. So Senator Akpabio has the track record. He has the support of the party. He has also the support of the president. he has the wealth of experience to consolidate on the achievements of the Ninth Assembly. In terms of, because those achievements are things that you can't just live like that and just expect anybody to come and consolidate. You need someone who has that political will. You need someone who has that, who shared the vision of the president and the vision of the Ninth Assembly also, even though he was not in this Ninth Assembly, but he was a former Senate minority leader. So he has that experience. Then, because of the PDP background that he came from, because when he was governor of Akwa Ibom State, he was in PDP. So he has relationship with all the all the parties, especially the major parties, the PDP and APC. So with that kind of background, he will be able to stabilize the National Assembly. He will use his personal connection, his political relationship, to be able to ensure that we have a stable National Assembly. Apart from that, he has a very good relationship with Mr. President. He has a very good relationship with Mr. President. He's committed to the party. His loyalty to the party is not in doubt. And he is someone who is a performer. He's an uncommon performer. And that is why the party is confident that if Akpabio emerges as the president of the 10th Senate, then there will be no problem as far as the National Assembly is concerned. Because what is essential is that there should be a robust executive legislative relation between the presidency and the National Assembly. So for to be able to drive developmental policies, developmental programs and activities of the government. So the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu demands for it to be actualized. It demands that there should be a very understanding National Assembly, and that has to do with the leadership. So where the leadership is having is not really having a good relationship with the presidency, then that vision will not be actualized. I want to just give an example of the instance of what transpired during the 8th Assembly.
Before you get to that, there are those who think this will also carry its own baggage, that assuming that Senator Akpabio becomes the Senate president, the impression out there will be that his Senate will be a rubber stamp Senate.
Well, that has always been, that's always been the even the allegation against the Ninth Assembly, that the Ninth Assembly led by Lawan was rubber stamped. But what is it that Nigerian people want? Is it a Senate that is always at loggerheads, that is always, fighting, always picking holes in whatever this executive is bringing to this, to the National Assembly, or a Senate that is result-oriented, that is productive, that shares in the vision, the good visions of the presidency? So that is what I think Nigerians should expect. There should be an atmosphere of cordiality, an atmosphere of stability, an atmosphere of mutual understanding. And I don't see Akpabio as a rubber stamp because of his wealth of experience. He's a man of his own. He's a man with independent mind, and with the kind of background, the political background that is coming from, so I don't see him being rubber stamped. Then the Senate, so to say, is not just about one person. The fact that Akpabio is the president of the Senate does not mean that all the other senators will be thinking the same way. Even though I believe Akpabio is not going to be rubber stamped, but I believe that with the inputs of other senators, we will also accomplish administration. Most of them, many of them are former governors, two-time governors, former ministers. Then some who have not even been in politics or who just joined politics before they came to the Senate, they are accomplished, people, professionals, seasoned professionals, in their own right. People who are just coming from the private sector, but who are well known to be accomplished people. So these are not robots, and they are not going to be rubber stamp. They are matured people, in their own right. And I believe what the presidency needs from them is that mutual understanding. The level we are, the phase we are as a country, demands that there should be mutual understanding, consensus building among especially the major two arms of government. I mean, the legislature and the executive. So there is need for them to work together for Nigeria to move forward.
But some of the lawmakers are picking holes with the fact that they are asking the question, why did the party go ahead to announce preferred candidate and not just stop at zoning?
Yeah, well, let me just give you one of the reasons I think must have informed that decision. The Southeast, between 1999 and now, between 1999 and 2007, the Southeast paraded 5 Senate presidents consecutively, starting from Evans Ewerem. That was during the Olusegun Obasanjo administration. Evan Ewerem, then to Dr. Shuba Okadipo, from there to Ayim Pius Ayim, from there to Advovos Wabra. Then the last person was Ken Namani, that left in 2007. 5 Senate presidents. Apart from that, Ike Ekuyemadu, senator, was deputy Senate president. He was also from the Southeast. Was deputy Senate president for 12 good years. 12 good years. So, with the zoning of because the president is from the Southwest, so it's not expected that the Senate president will also come from the Southwest. So it was zoned to the south. Then it was now microzoned to the south. And among the senators that are coming, into this 10 Senate from the south. Senator Akpabio is the only ranking senator, the only one conventionally qualified to become the Senate president among all the senators coming from the south. So one way or the other is so I think that was what the party must have seen for them to say, well, we are narrowing down on Akpabio. So, and apart from that, in politics there is give and take. Maybe one of the reasons too was he was the first presidential aspirant to step down for Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the party's presidential primaries. The very first person.
So it's payback time.
Maybe yes, it's a payback time. So maybe the party has been very considerate to say, well, let us we need to compensate a person like this, because after he's stepping down, after he withdrew his aspiration, that withdrawal was followed with so many other withdrawals. Maybe if he didn't take that courage, if he didn't summon that courage to do that, in the interest of the progress of this nation and the progress of the party, maybe those other withdrawals will have come. So it's another way of compensating him, as a loyal party man and someone who is also reliable and dependable. So that is, I think that must have been one of the reasons that the party, used to that was one of the reasons that led to narrowing down on Akpabio. He's the only ranking senator.
There are those who believe that the campaign steam of Senator Akpabio that is losing strength by the day because of the avalanche of others who seem to be supporting the other two, Yari and Ojuzo Kalu. These are men with heavy pocket. These are men with connection and everything. What will you say to the fact that the Akpabio's campaign is losing steam?
I don't believe it's losing steam. Politics is not about sharing money. It's not about social media sensibilities. It involves wide consultation. It involves negotiation. And most of these politicking are behind the scene efforts, behind the scene moves that you don't need to make no noise about. So I believe that the Akpabio team, being a very mature team, a team of matured minds, instead of just sponsoring media hypes, they are more involved in reaching out to party stakeholders, supporters of this contestants that are contesting against Akpabio himself, and so they are reaching out to as many people, even to they are also reaching out to the opposition parties, the senators coming from the opposition parties, to ensure that they are able to garner the majority votes. So I think that is their focus. They don't want to lose focus. So it's not about sharing. We have been hearing here and there that Yari is spending money, spending money, trying to buy some of the senators to his side.
But those stories are not restricted to one person.
Yes, they are not restricted to one person. So, but I know that beyond just sharing money, beyond what comes to the basic things that people should look for is issues that have to do with capacity, integrity, track record. What track record do you have to lead the 10th Senate? So I believe Yari is not really there. He doesn't have that requisite capacity. So, but I know that the track record of Akpabio, are speaking for him today. So then, Ojus Okalu, based on the analysis I made the other time, that Southeast have really had a very good chair of that Senate presidency, right from 1999 to 2007. 5 Senate presidents from the Southeast, and also a deputy Senate president was there from the Southeast, also, who spent 12 years at a go, consecutively. So I think the Southeast should be considerate. The Southeast should not, they cannot hold Nigeria to ransom to say because we did not win, our son did not win the presidency, there must be our son, so one of us must be the Senate president. Therefore, Yari, I see Yari as someone who's not very sensitive, because the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won on the ticket of Muslim, a Muslim ticket, and in the presidential system of government that we are running in Nigeria, we know that the number 1 citizen is the president, the number 2 is the vice president, while the number 3 citizen is the Senate president. How can we have number 1, 2, 3 citizens as Muslims? That is not sensitive enough. Can we build a united country like that? A country that is multi-ethnic, a country that is multi-religious, a country that is multilingual. We have our own different diversities, and the only way that we can continue to sustain that unity in diversity is when we're able to bargain among ourselves to say, okay, the Muslims have been able to get this position, let's reserve this for Christians. So it is in that way that we can sustain the unity of Nigeria. So if we are not playing mouth service to the unity that we are talking about, then we should be able to practicalize it even in our politics. So I believe Yari will definitely not fly. It won't fly, because I know among the 10 senators there are Christians, and they are very sensitive as far as issues like this are concerned. I don't see those Christians being bought, even though they will definitely collect his money, but I don't see them as being bought, because they will know where their background, their identity as Christians, they won't forget it.
All right, Comrade Sheyi Olubanjo, public affairs analyst, we really appreciate your intervention on this issue. We hope that you would avail us of your presence maybe before the inauguration of the House, and this time we can talk about the House of Representatives coming. Thank you so much for your appearance on Insight. We really wish you a beautiful day ahead, and we hope that one day when you come back we may have to refer you to some of the things you said today, whether they were turned out to be right or not. But then that's a matter for another day. Thank you so much, Comrade Sheyi Olubanjo, for your interference. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, that's it on the program today. The program returns on Monday with another edition. My name is Lawrence Umoette. Enjoy the rest of your day.